Hold up. Why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step. I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bet.
Welcome back, y'all. This is the Double M Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jesus Dinero, here with my co-host,
Puma El Gato.
What do we got going on tonight, my man?
At light heavyweight for UFC 320, we have Jiri versus Khalil Roundtree. Let's talk about it.
So I think this is a good matchup for both of these guys. Both of these guys have had some wars, with some obviously mutual opponents, some not so mutual. But listen, I think based on their previous win recs, their previous fighters that they fought recently, it makes all the sense in the world to have these two guys fight. Now, both of these guys are coming off of good wins in their past fight. Each one of them brings kind of a little bit of a uniqueness to each one. You know, I think that Roundtree, ever since his loss to Alex Pereira, has really kind of come into his own. I feel like he's become sort of like the people's champ, so to speak. A lot of people respect him, obviously, because of that war that he went to with Alex Pereira, where, yes, he ended up getting knocked out, or, TKO, so to speak. But he didn't give up, man. He gave it his all, put his heart into it, and a lot of people love that. You know, a lot of people love the fact that this man went out on a shield and he wasn't there to be just plainly knocked out and given, even though he was clearly the underdog in the fight. So a lot of people like that. Same thing for Jiri. A lot of people have a lot of respect for Jiri for a number of different things that he's done. He's very calm, very personable himself. A lot of people like him for the exact same reasons that they like Khalil Roundtree. Doesn't ever give up. He puts his heart on the line. He goes out on his shield, all that good stuff. So that's part of the reason why I think this is such a good fight. These are two dudes that are they're not quitters by any means. They're not going to go out there and just phone it in. They're going to give it their all. I think we're going to get a good war. That being said, let's talk about who we think is going to win. Listen, I'll be honest with you. Jiri Prochazka has a better resume. Based on all the different people that he's faced, I think he has a much deeper resume than does Khalil Roundtree. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, Khalil Roundtree has his own set of victories, obviously just beating Jamal Hill not that long ago. Jamal Hill being a reputable name, even though a lot of people don't think very much of Jamal Hill. But that being said, listen, if we were going to go to a slugfest, I would have to pick Jiri Prochazka, if I'm being honest with you. Again, I think based on the better resume, based on the number of fights that he's had against, I would say top-tier talent, I feel like Jiri has done better. Now, yes, obviously, Jiri has also been knocked out by the likes of Alex Pereira multiple times. And because of those things, a lot of people are going to say, I don't know, I'm leaning toward Roundtree. And listen, I wouldn't fault you for that. If I'm being honest with you, I think this is a pretty close fight. I think either dude can really pull it out. The only reason I'm favoring Jiri Prochazka is I think he's had a little bit more of a talent pool to pull from. I think he's faced better competition than has a Khalil Roundtree in his overall career. Obviously, again, they both faced Alex Pereira, but I think overall, Jiri Prochazka has faced a deeper bench of opponents, and because of that, I do think he's going to edge it out. Now, again, listen, I wouldn't be mad at either guy winning. I like both of these dudes. Both of these dudes are phenomenal fighters, great fighters, for the same reason that a lot of you guys like them. I like them. They wear their heart on their sleeves. They go out on their shield. All that, I'm in for it. I don't care who wins. I'll be happy for either guy, and I'm sure either guy that loses will still go on to do great, phenomenal things. Again, I'm only basing it on that particular bench of fighters that Jiri Prochazka can pull from to say he has a little bit better experience facing top-tier talent. But listen, I think both of these guys are pretty well matched up. I think if they're both going to go out there and try and knock each other out, which I do think is going to happen, I think Jiri Prochazka is going to do just slightly better than him, than Khalil Roundtree. Even though Khalil Roundtree has been doing great and he's been looking better ever since the Alex Pereira fight, I think that when he starts to get tired, he does pull a little bit more from the gas tank, meaning he starts throwing a little bit more of the wilder shots. And I think because of that, I think he's going to gas out just a little bit quicker than Jiri Prochazka. And Jiri Prochazka is going to take the win. That being said, listen, Jiri Prochazka is prone to getting knocked out. All due respect to Jiri Prochazka, I like the guy, but he is prone to getting knocked out. He is prone to getting caught. And because of that chin that he leaves up in the air, because of him leaving himself open to big shots, Khalil Roundtree can definitely take this fight. But if I had to pull, if you've gun to my head, I'm going to pick Jiri Prochazka just for that particular reason, because I feel like that's really the only thing that Jiri Prochazka has an advantage over Roundtree. I think both of these guys are pretty well matched. But what do you think about that, my man?
This has the absolute makings of a very contentious fight. And I'm even going to go on to say I am fairly confident this is probably going to be one of the fights of the night that it's going to etch out even the championship fights at UFC 320. Again, like you said, we have Jiri Prochazka, who is the absolute glass cannon no matter what. This guy absolutely has great stopping power, and when he sees blood in the water, he absolutely goes in. Look at his fight against Jamal Hill, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And speaking of Jamal Hill, I feel like that's a pretty good benchmark for what we have here, considering that Jamal Hill was both of these men's recent fights, and I feel like their attitude in the Jamal Hill fight is a good barometer for what we're gonna see in UFC 320. Let me explain that for you. Jiri Prochazka, when he was up against Jamal Hill, was very cool, calm, and collected as much as he could be throughout the fight. Jamal Hill did throw some bombs out there, but Jiri Prochazka still kept it in cool, throwing in some bombs of his own, going in for some deep combinations. And once he saw that Jamal Hill was getting knocked down, I believe it was in round 2, and then again in round 4 or 5, I believe. Jiri Prochazka went into a flow state and was absolutely dropping bombs, combinations down on Jamal Hill, and he wasn't stopping until he heard the ref call him off and say, all right, that's it, he's done. Now, compare that to a Khalil Roundtree, which again gave some decent fights combinations to Jamal Hill. Again, it was a contentious fight. We'll give some credit in that I do feel the combo output by Khalil Roundtree would be better than a Jiri Prochazka. I do think, again, Jiri Prochazka has the stopping power to potentially put down a Khalil Roundtree. The advantage that I would have over Jiri Prochazka is that in the Jamal Hill fight, he seemed like the more active aggressor in the fight, whereas Khalil Roundtree was a little bit more passive, only slightly behind Jamal Hill in all three of those fighters. So I do think that Jiri Prochazka will be leading the dance come this Saturday, which I do think will be the advantage for Jiri Prochazka. But again, to give some fairness to Khalil Roundtree, he was able to outlast Alex Pereira and withhold most of the blows that he was taking. And the reason that was a TKO victory is because Khalil Roundtree, by even his own admission, didn't have much left in the gas tank. The only reason that it was ruled a TKO is because he wasn't answering. And he even said, I couldn't answer. I didn't have anything left in me. Any punch that I was throwing was wild and it wasn't hitting. So I couldn't do anything. So it wasn't necessarily that he got knocked out. It's just he didn't have anything left. It was a fighter's equivalent to a checkmate. So while Jiri Prochazka does have stopping power, I do think Khalil Roundtree is able to last them out. Now, if you were to ask me who was winning out in that fight, based on aggressive attitude and the output, I think Jiri Prochazka would be having just enough stopping power and just enough aggressive behavior in that fight to basically put out Khalil Roundtree. Is it still going to be contentious? Absolutely. Is Khalil Roundtree going to make it hard for Jiri Prochazka? No doubt. Is Jiri Prochazka still going to come out the winner? I'm confident in saying so. That being said, I couldn't be any more excited for this matchup. It's going to be highly contentious. Again, I'm saying it's going to be fight of the night for that event. But what do you think about my thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, it can definitely be fight of the night. Both of these dudes bring enough firepower that you can see them exchanging blows in a, like you said, highly contested fight. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. Either way, it's going to be a good fight. Make sure you guys tune in to watch it. I think it's going to be exciting for everybody, including the fighters, because, again, both of these dudes are well matched. Both of these dudes have a lot of similar opponents in which they did kind of similar to them. Certain things Roundtree did better. Certain things Khalil did better. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great fight. And as you said, potential fight of the night. But we'll see how that goes, guys. And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit. And
until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you in the next one.